Also picked up this indicator. This is also marked CDCO Machinery Company. And judging from the fact that I can't see any other markings on this thing, I'm going to guess that this is probably an import. Seems like everything that website sells is cheap import stuff. It's in really good condition. I don't know if this has ever been used. There's like no wear at all, and the dovetail's not a nick on it. So, and it seems to work perfectly fine. It's actually a half tenths or half thousandths indicator. It says 7 joules. I don't know exactly what kind of joules are in that thing. So that'll be a cheap usable indicator for somebody, and it has a couple of attachments that gives you the ability to mount the dovetail in a larger hole on an indicator stand and then a smaller one. And then there's this very cheap looking wooden case reminiscent of a lot of the Chinese import stuff. There's this end mill set. They appear to be high-speed steel coated. Look like they're in pretty good shape. The funny thing about this set is that when these, notice that these end mills are in position, that the case, the box won't close. So I don't understand why they couldn't make this. And this foam isn't taking up much room, so that's not the issue. It's just literally they did not make these holes deep enough, I don't think, unless there's something under here. Let me see if I can get this wood block out. No, I can't. They may have actually glued this wood block in. I noticed on like the corner radius bits, the whole wood block that it sits in comes out. So that's interesting, and it's missing just one size. Again, I've got plenty of end mills, so I'll just sell this set cheap. Nice oak box. Doesn't appear to be marked any maker's names on it. Another height gauge. Looks to be almost identical to the one we just looked at. This one's interesting because, well, it is a Brown & Sharp. It is another Brown & Sharp 585. What I find interesting about this set, well, there's a couple of, that's a newer style indicator. Tool post indicator holder. That looks like, it looks like a Starrett, but I can't see any markings on it. But anyways, what's interesting to me about this set is, look what's included in this set. Brown & Sharp indicator, an early Brown & Sharp indicator. So I've actually got another one of these right now, and this has got the fractional display, the fractional indication of what resolution this is, and this is 1/10,000. So this is a tenths indicator, or 10,000ths of an inch indicator. So it's actually got quite a bit of resolution, but it's a very early one. Just one look at it tells me that. Still looks like it's in great shape though. And I believe, all right, it's not moving, but that could be just the switch here. There we go. There we go. This might need a little love. Okay, now I think it's switched. There we go. So if I put this at 0 now, it's returning to 0. Well, spoke too soon. So I'm pushing up on the contact point right now to make that needle move. And then with a flip of the switch, now I push down to make the needle move. But that's sticking a little bit on the return. And that's just from age, probably being gummed up inside there. Got a couple of little doodads to go with it too. Got the dovetail hole, the dovetail clamp, a couple of different style of dovetail clamps. Kind couple extra points in there. And obviously I'm going to keep this with the set. So another very clean looking 585 clamp. Okay, so this one's got the straight scriber on it, so that makes me think that maybe that unmarked straight scriber in the other box is possibly original to the set. Next item, what could it be? This one is clearly marked brown and sharp. Another one. Something a little different. This is a 586. Alright. So what I'm noticing right off the bat on this one that's interesting is that this one, the scriber is integral to this part. So it appears that this bar could be clamped to for an indicator, and when you take it off you're ready to go as far as scribing. But what I'm also seeing in here, this does look like it's in excellent shape, there's a whole bunch of extra scribers. So unfortunately we're missing a clamp. So in order to use one of these scribe, I guess what would you do? You would just clamp this to this? I don't know. I don't know what somebody was doing there. I got a feeling these came after. That actually looks like an original one. Don't know. Don't really care. I'll probably sell this exactly the way it sits. No, it's not Deja Vu. This is actually another one. Same label. This box is in nicer shape. It's really been lacquered or something. Either that or that's the original finish and somebody took really good care of this one. Just, you know, give you a before and after. Before, after. So this should be another 586. And it is. This one's got more wear on it, clearly. Right here, you can see this is... Oh, but look at that finish on the bottom of that. Nice. Perfect. Again, same style. The fixed scriber, but nice to see. This one has the clamp. I might have an extra clamp laying around here that didn't fit my Meditoyo. And again, this is what was in that 585's case, that little bag. So again, I think that that is a good known. But that clamp almost looks like it wouldn't be tall enough to clamp this to this. Oh no, it is. It's perfect. Well, there you go. That explains that. I wonder if by design they expected this scribe to wear over time, and then the fix was you just clamped on an auxiliary scriber. I don't know. Another 586 in a very nice box. And beautiful. The way they made the cases for this early equipment. That brings us to the final item in this buy. And yes, it is another Brown and Sharp height gauge. This one's got the more modern Brown and Sharp logo on it, and these style clasps also indicate that this would be a newer one. It's got some nice box bead detail there and the finger joinery there on the box. Box is pretty scraped up from things being slid around on it. So this is a much more modern one. We can tell, I say modern as in like, this thing to me screams 1970s. If you are around my age, this is a 587. Okay, so we had two 585s. A 585 was a two 585s, two 586s, and this is a 587. So something new yet still. Okay, so what I was starting to say, this has got just a little bit of surface rust on the bottom there. It's not as clean as the other ones. What's nice is it's got this satin finish area where the numbers are. It makes it a lot easier to read. This looks like it's an excellent shape though, as far as like the enamel, the paint, whatever coating on here. Okay, no accessories with this one. What we have here, this is an interesting design. We've got a rod sticking out for your indicator to mount to. However, if we take this out, loosen the clamp, I can see that there's a scriber end there. Not only that, but if I take it off completely, it's got a built-in scriber like the other ones. Or I flip this around and now I've got this scribing edge. So kind of cool, okay? So anyways, what I started to say was if you're from that era like I am, of going to school, going to elementary school in the 1970s, you may have something come to mind when you look at this that hits me right off the bat. The words Bell and Howell come to mind. Back in those days, all of our overhead projectors, which some of you might not even know what the hell that is, but basically Bell and Howell was an audio-visual company that made projectors, movie projectors and overhead projectors and everything like that, and this was a color that they loved to use. It's also a very common color, and I think of a lot of laboratory equipment from that era, if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, this is interesting to me. I hope it was interesting to you guys. For those of you who lost count, this is number 5. This is the 5 height gauges in this haul, all brown and sharp, all nice in their own way. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this pile of tools that I scored as much as I enjoyed scoring them. And if you love watching these kind of tool find videos and you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Until next time, take care.